So, after playing against bots for literally 25 hours because I worked during the PvP session, I'm here to tell you how Halo Infinite was, at least from the tech test perspective. Tech test overall was like pretty sick, and I'm super stoked for Infinite. And if you are too, then this video for you. So, real quick, kind of glossing over a few things. The customization and settings available in the flight. You couldn't change your resolution off of windowed, you had the option of borderless or regular windowed, so a lot of people's performance was a little whack, but we should probably have full screen in the next flight, so I wouldn't be too concerned about it. The overall customization available in the flight in terms of settings was actually pretty solid, and it was what you would expect from a FPS in current day. You had horizontal and vertical sliders for sensitivity independent of each other. You had independent sensitivities for each of the scope zooms, and it would even give you an example of what scope zoom that applied to, or what scope that zoom applied to. And there was also a setting for step jump, which would automatically lower your jump height depending on the ledge you were trying to jump to, which was kind of sick. I didn't really notice a difference with it, other people might, but still a cool feature to have. The actual customization in-game, if you wanted a direct comparison, is similar to Halo 3's current customization in MCC. You had a lot of very specific customizations where instead of just having your arm pad, you had the full arm, the little hand plates, knees was an option. You had the chest plate option, which I don't actually know if any were technically available during the flight, or the tech test rather. Tech test flight, they're really the same thing. You had visor colors, helmets, there were a couple available, and overall the depth of the customization was really cool. I ran through each of the AIs, and each one was actually like a fully different personality, like there weren't two that blended together, which was really nice. And customization on weapons boiled down to weapon skins, and that's why you'll probably see a lot of red sidekicks in the gameplay I put on my channel. The overall feel of the game was actually really solid, and we had 3 maps available during the flight. We had Bazaar, Recharge, and Livefire, and all of the maps were pretty good. Livefire was your standard fare 3 lanes, but Recharge and Bazaar kind of take the cake for me, specifically because of the grapple. I'll go over the grapple in a separate video talking about movement, but the grapple is super sick. And the ceiling for what you can do with the grapple, not just in terms of regular gameplay, but also what you could do with it in a Forge setting, is really, really high. It's super dope, and I think a lot of people are going to have a lot of fun with it when they get their hands on it. The overall gameplay, in terms of gunplay felt really nice. Everything was a lot more, I want to say, precise than it has been in previous Halos. The sniper especially is like ridiculously more, the reticle itself is smaller than it has been, and it feels like you have to be a little more accurate than you were before. On top of that, gameplay and the maps, the power weapons that spawn on each map really complement how the map flows. Having the sniper or the skewer spawn for firing line makes sense because it's a very long lane map. Recharge is very close quarters, and having your power weapon be the new gravity hammer, which is actually super good and a little weird to use compared to the old hammers, makes a lot of sense. And then the last map, Bazaar, had the rocket launcher, which needs literally no introduction. And the overall flow of the maps worked really well for Arena, especially with how the movement is now. You're very much rewarded for understanding how to use your movement, not just in terms of like jumping and sliding, but ways you can use the grapple to get around. And in the case of all the maps, the equipment really complements it. Livefire doesn't have a lot of areas to make use of the grapple, so it has drop wall instead. But Recharge and Bazaar had a lot of really interesting ways to use the grapple. I'm really excited to talk about that thing, by the way, if you couldn't tell. But yeah, overall, the game feels really solid. And if you're like me and you were cautiously optimistic before, there's a reason to get excited for this game now. Like a very big reason. Yeah, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys later.